Grace and peace to you, Earnest Tax and Financial Services family. Thank you for letting me share this quick moment with you to help you save some money, some time, or just some frustration. All right, so you earn your money and you need to keep it. Now, the question that I'm hearing a lot is, can I evict tenants? Can tenants be evicted during this moratorium? Yes, they can. Okay, so I have some notes here. I'm going to make sure I hit it, and I'm going to hit it quickly. So, quick background. We know that back in September of last year, the CDC basically prohibited residential landlords nationwide from evicting tenants that have been adversely affected by COVID, right? And the purpose of it was to keep COVID from spreading, all right? So we have a current bill that has made it to the Senate, and it right now the language states that it would extend the moratorium to September. So this is not something that's going away. We thought currently it ends at the end of March, but with that current bill going into September, so basically we need to deal with the hand that we've been dealt, and if there's money available, we need to make sure that we're able to get it. As landlords, we need to make sure we're able to help our tenants get that money to get their rents paid, so that they don't end up at the end of this getting an eviction notice. All right, so let's start with who can be evicted. So, basically, if the tenant received the economic, who can't be evicted. Let me clarify, who cannot be evicted. So, someone who has received an economic, who received the economic stimulus payment, they cannot be evicted. All right. Someone who is unable to make the full rent due to being adversely affected by COVID, whether it's medical, loss of job hours, and they cannot make that payment, then they cannot be evicted. All right. Someone who is trying to make the payments, they're making partial payments, but they can't make all of it, then they cannot be evicted. Someone who would, and this is the last one, an individual for whom the eviction would likely render them homeless, all right, or force them to move into close quarters in a new congregate, okay? So if they have to move in with 10 other people, then they cannot be evicted. All right, so I have seen, and let me say this, I have seen posts, and I have not spoken to any personally who have done this, but I have seen several posts of landlords who've said that their evictions were successful. All right, so these tenants can still be evicted. Now, we know that they're in every situation. There are people who take advantage of, of a situation, and there are landlords who have been successful at getting those tenants evicted. And let me specifically say for non-payment, all right? Basically because they proved that the tenant had a steady job and just, were not making payments. And, as you kind of read through how they were able to get it done, you find that many of them had to do some FBI investigative work to actually be able to prove that, hey, this person works the type of job, this person is a teacher, or they are, a government employee, or their hours were not reduced, so they could be making those payments. So the thing about that, though, is you have to look at your local government and how they're handling the moratorium. Although, this came out from the CDC, it's nationwide. Governments have discretion on how they are handling the evictions. Okay, so I put a link down below. I think it's the NOLO link. I think yes, it is. It's a NOLO document down below that gives a chart of how each state is handling those evictions. So in that chart, you can see like a state like California, they have actually extended the moratorium all the way up until June, and that's before current legislation and all of that. So anyway, you have to do some local digging to find out what's happening in your courts and talking to other landlords to find out how those cases are going. All right, so however, so you can still evict for non-payment if you can prove that person is just not paying, but they have the means. And you can still evict for other reasons. For if the tenant is violating the agreement, the lease agreement, then they can still be evicted. Okay, so looking at this is I also put a link to the CDC question and answer document, and I'm gonna some of these come straight from that document. This says that yes, these tenants can still be evicted if they're engaging in criminal activity, threatening the health or safety of other residents, damaging or posing immediate and significant risk of damage to property, violating any applicable building code, health ordinances, violating any other contractual obligations of a tenant's lease other than the timely payment of rent or similar related payments. All right, so to answer your question, yes, tenants can still be evicted during this moratorium. So communicate with them, let them know that it can still be done. Print this out, give it to them, document that you've given it to them, communicate with your tenant. All right. If you have any questions or comments, type them down below, or just respond to me. But if you're ready to do business with me, you need those books, the taxes done, just give me a call if you need some help, and just get on my calendar. All right. Have a great day.